today. Moving forward to the program, I'll be introducing the speaker for this session. He is Korede Bello, the CEO of Red Global Digital. Mr. KBell.
All right, good evening, everybody, wherever you're watching from. I think we have somebody joining from Atlanta, Georgia, so I don't know if it is morning or afternoon. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you might be, whatever the time is. My name is Korede Bello. Popularly, people know me as KBell. Of course, I'm the founder and the CEO of Red Global Digital, the company responsible for this seminar. And one of the reasons why we are doing this is primarily to encourage the African community to step into the arena of game industry, because it's not yet pronounced like the other industries in Africa. So I'll get started. What I will be talking about today is I want to talk about the African gaming industry market. When we are talking about the African game or gamification in Africa, when we're talking about the market, it's a very brand new concept. What I will be talking about today, the highlights, I will talk about what is the aim. Is game popular in Africa? The potential of the gaming market in Africa, the mobile case, the future and the market. We are not superhero, but we could be. Then I'll conclude. I have less than 20 minutes now. All right, what's the aim? The aim actually is to educate African youth to impact on the impact of video game in innovation, the gamification of economy, and the future of digital Africa. Meaning we want to encourage the African youth on the importance of game industry, because it's not yet pronounced, just like I've said before. Also, we want to call the attention of the investors, because primarily one of the major challenges that game industry is facing right now in Africa is funding. And especially if you are in game industry, you will know that for a startup to really pick up or to launch, you need a lot of support that you can get. But that is one of the major challenges that the African communities are facing right now. Then, of course, we also want to reemphasize the fact that Africa is not a single entity. There is a kind of a misconception that knowingly or unknowingly, people tend to generalize Africa as a single entity, like treat Africa like a country. Africa is not a country, it's a continent. And why am I saying this? I'm saying this because Africa has a lot of potential when it's come to game niche, when it's come to coming up with ideas, when it's come to culture, when it comes to ethnicity, when it comes to, so right now, Africa is very rich when it comes to idea, because we can come from different angles. And why am I even talking about this? I'm talking about this because those game industry that we have right now is either we are following after the niche that has been, that has been in operation in the developed countries already. So I think it's high time that Africa need to start to take a look at how they can use their rich heritage to come up with a very good and better niche. Then, of course, the aim is to break the barrier of limited spotlight on Africa game development industry. This is one of our vision at Red Global Digital. We want the Africans to be well educated about game industry, that these things are possible, and we also want to create more awareness so that the rest of the world can come on board with the African community to fight whatever might be the delay that will be responsible for the reason why the game industry in Africa are not really flying as the rest of the game industries are flying all over the world. Then we want to create a bridge that connects the finished game industry with Africa. Just like I said, I am based in Finland. Finland is where I've chosen to live. And I would like, and Finland is very well known when it comes to game industry. Finland is successful. We have the like of Angry Birds and co doing great exploits. So we want to see how Finland as a country can influence game industry or gamification in Africa. So gaming in Africa, is gaming gaining popularity in Africa? So that's the first question that one needs to first ask before we start to talk about whether there is market for game industry. The answer that I've come up with is yes and no. Why? Because the thing is this: when we are talking about game industry, we are talking about in Africa, when we are talking about countries that are the lead, that are popularly known with game industry. We are talking about the like of South Africa, Kenya, Nigeria, and Uganda, and maybe some few other countries. But still, these countries, they are facing one of the major challenges that they are facing right now is the fact that even the indigenous people might not even patronize what they are producing. Because right now, people don't really take games seriously. During my generation, I don't know about the current generation because I left Nigeria in 2008. So we are still taking a look into a deeper look into how the market is. Gaming, we believe that people that play games, they don't have job, meaning they are not serious and other stuff. But as a result, a lot of youth that might have potential in game development started to lose interest because they don't believe that it could be a business. It could generate income. It could employ people. So that's the reason why I say yes and no. Yes, game industry, the exploit of mobile game has increased a lot of reasons why gaming in Africa is increasing and people start to develop games, create games. Then the market is getting bigger and bigger gradually, but it's not really that a very fast growth as at now that we are doing this seminar. Of course, everybody knows that gamification is a very huge global industry that worth billions of dollars worldwide, because it's one of the market that is growing very fast. But like I've said before, in Africa, it's not really moving very fast like the rest of the world. So local content created by Africans for African need fund to expand. I think this is one of the major things that Africa need right now. As at right now, Africa is one of the continents of the world that is having increase in population at a very fast rate. Africa is really increasing in population at a very fast rate. So that's just it. So having said this, like I've been talking about game industry in Africa, so I would like to quickly talk about some few game studios in Africa that are doing, they are fighting the war, they are fighting the battle at the forefront, at this fighting this war. So in 2012, there is a studio in Nigeria called Maliyo Game. They became the very first video game companies in West Africa. That was in 2012. And in Kenya, a formerly known game industry called Black Division is well known in Nairobi for creating, in Kenya, for creating a game that they call Nairobi X. And Nairobi X is just about alien invasion in Nairobi, Kenya. Then we have Free Lives. Free Lives, they are one of the most successful companies, game development, game company right now in Africa. In 2012, they recorded over 250,000 copies in sales when it comes. So it means even though we are fighting this war, these guys are still managing to exploit and succeed, even though they did not really have access to fund like the rest of the world in front of that are in front when it's come to game development. Kiro O Games in 2013, they released their first game, and before even they released the full game, they raised $270 in funding. It was launched in Lagos. I think this is one of the game industry, game companies that are doing very good right now in Nigeria. They've released over around 60 games since founded. So now when we talk about what is the potential of gamification in Africa, naturally when it comes to playing game, it comes naturally to young people. And right now, according to the research, between 0 and 24 years of age, it has been predicted that the population of Africa is going to increase by 50%. So, and if that is going to happen, I think within that range of age are the people that play game most. So meaning if the African game industry are well stabilized and well established, they are going to do great things when it comes to game industry and when it comes to generating incomes for themselves. So the African game industry is increasing. African game market is increasing, which will pave way to a lot of game developer that maybe are from around the world. We are so much concerned about the indigenous game developers. So there is one point I want to mention. The reason why I want to mention this is eye on adventure, not just charity. Everybody knows Africa for charity. You hear of UNICEF, you know of this. The major reason why a lot of people are going to Africa is to help the poor. Where Africa don't just need charity. Africa needs support. So the reason why I'm mentioning this point is that if you're an expert in game and you have passion for Africa, you like adventure, I think it's high time for you to start to take that step to collaborate, to engage the African market. It's not going to be easy from the beginning. To be sincere, we have to face that reality, but it is possible. With the little help from the well-developed country that have access to funding, I want to tell you, it's just the beginning. It's just the beginning. The sky is not the limit. All right. Now, one of the reasons why I will talk about the mobile case. When I'm talking about the mobile case, I'm talking about the usage of mobile phones, smartphones. It's one of the things that we make that are solidified game industry in Africa. Those that are really at least trying their best. It's one of the things that have solidified and it's making African game markets look more promising every day. The rate at which people are using mobile right now, smartphone right now, almost everybody is using it right now in Africa. It doesn't even matter where you are living, whether you are living in the city or you are living in the rural area. So in West Africa, about, in particular, 50% of the mobile game, or 50% of the mobile game players, they use mobile to play their game. That was according to the report in 2019. In North Africa alone, it is estimated that over 290 million people currently own cell phones. So, and one of the reasons why it is very, things are progressing is because GPS and Bluetooth on smartphone makes smartphone popular. Please, if I am overspending my time, please let me know so that I can quickly rush. I forgot to set my stopwatch.
You're still on time. You have 5 minutes left.
I have 5 minutes left. Thank you so much. All right. Like I've already said, we are not superhero. We are not all superheroes, but we could be. What is my duty? That's the next question I want you to ask yourself, especially if you are passionate about Africa. I'm talking to the foreigners now. That's one that are passionate about Africa. They want to see game industry boom in Africa. And at the same time, I'm talking to the indigenous of Africa, whether you are living in the diaspora or you are living in Africa. What is your duty? One of the things, Africa, naturally, we have markets. We have potential markets when it comes to game industry. Why? Because we have the population and we are developing at a very fast rate and the economy of Africa is booming. So I will now ask myself, what will be my role? Like you should also ask yourself. First thing first, get proper education when it's come to game development. Because game development is very huge. Is an industry that it has a lot of areas and angles. It's not just what one person can achieve. But you play your role, get proper education. You can learn to be a designer, a game designer, a programmer, a level designer. The list goes on and on and on and on. Then, if you have the capability, provide education for those that doesn't have. That is one of the reasons why what gave birth to Ray Global Digital Academy. We want, especially people that need motivation, that need experience, we provide that for them. And so I'm built strong network, meaning let's connect. Ray Global Digital, we have a game network. So if you are interested, you can get in touch with us. Then adventure, meaning reach out. The possibilities are endless. In conclusion, as there are promise that the African game market is huge, is big, it has potential. Also, there are little challenges. I've already explained this, that gamification comes naturally to young people. This can lead to meaningful work and economic exploitation. Then what is the challenge? The challenge is, first and foremost, when I was preparing for this, it was a bit challenging to even get materials. How do you collect the data that does not exist on an understudied industry or subject? So it's one of the major challenges that game industry is having. A lot of African game developers, they don't have reference. They don't have a kind of a mentoring company that they can follow after. Then I will also say that it's proved difficult to answer a question like how many percentage play game a day in Africa, because if you are talking about African market, when it's come to game industry, you have to take a look at who are the potential players, who can buy the game. So it's kind of a little bit difficult to know this because of the lack of proper statistic and other stuff. In conclusion, like I said, African game market is increasing. It has a lot of great potential. If you have any question, I think now is the time to ask.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
What's the first thing you should do when you begin with this path? I mean, what is your vision here? How are you gonna achieve this?
All right. Okay, so if you are talking about me or somebody else that have interest, if you are talking about me, how am I going to achieve this? This is one of the ways I'm going to achieve this. Of course, we have already started. Like Ray Global Digital Academy is an example. We are providing training. We are helping people get more bolder when it's come to game development by offering internship, self-learning, and learning at work, or maybe you want to write your thesis. So this is one of the ways I am planning to achieve this. Then we have forming network of game developer or people that have interest. So a lot of people have interest, they want to learn about it, but the way educations are right now in Africa, it has not really accommodated game developer. So it's one of the ways at which I'm trying to achieve this. So I don't know if I'm able to answer your question.
Yes, you
Thank
did.
you
All right.
very much, Mr. Korede.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for that presentation of cycle. So we now know what it is. From what you've said, we've been able to gather, there's kinds data on this, not so much data on the game industry in Africa. So, but the game industry was leveraged on a broadband, leveraged on the smartphone, and I'm sure that according to the SMA report published in 2019, there was about 749 million, you know, active mobile phone users in sub-Saharan, where Nigeria falls. So that's West Africa, when you're sub-Saharan Africa. So it's an untapped resource when it comes to Nigeria. So what I'm just gonna my field study, and my observation. I grew up here. I know what it is like. We consume the imported game. When it comes to game as a product, what we consume is more imported products. So it's what we get from the Western world. And I can tell you that though we do not have data, but evidence and what I have seen within the 0 to 24 years, even more than that, I still game. I still have a PS in my house. So it's an untapped resource.